Enlightenment is an abstraction. And I started my spiritual journey around 2008. And if I knew to get there, that's where I would have gotten. I didn't know that I had the possibility to be enlightened or what was going to go on with my spiritual journey, but I knew I was headed down that path. And I knew that I remember a mentor of mine saying that they had no intention of becoming Jesus. And that was kind of I didn't even know I was going to go to that story, but it really stuck to me because I was like, hey, if I'm supposed to be Jesus, I'll be Jesus in this lifetime. And that wasn't saying that person was right or wrong. It was just kind of gave me my own value in where I was headed. Do I think I'm Jesus? No. But enlightenment. So I had an experience in 2020. So before that, I had 12 years in my spiritual path. I had plenty of awakenings along the way. And, things that I was just like, oh my God, like I see the world brighter. I see the world bigger. And, and thinking I was there. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, my mentor used to say, the badger gets back out of the bag. But in 2020, I had an event that was what I thought enlightenment was. And it wasn't, it was unexpected. And I know exactly where I was, exactly what happened. And it took me outside autonomously and looking up at the sky. And what ended up happening was that it was that moment. I knew conceptually I was a spirit having a human experience, but I knew in that moment. And all the pressures of life just melted away. Like I didn't feel like I had all of these responsibilities that people had given to me. And and you can tell I'm still having a hard time talking about it because I haven't been able to have good conversations with people around it because people haven't been able to truly understand it. And that's what I get is afterwards I started looking at it like, what did I experience? Because even the spiritual people around me that were like truthing people, like we told each other everything, they would not even follow my thoughts on where I went. They would stop, and I'm like, no, I want to explain what happened, and they get offended and weird things like that. And I just figured out that I'm in this weird space. So I was trying to figure out like what it was that I experienced. And then I went out and I looked at all these people that they were saying they were enlightened, and I was like, oh. Maybe there is no ending point to enlightenment. I don't know. And I'm not saying that there is, but I see it for sure as an abstraction because I have seen hundreds now of my own research of figuring out what happened to me or what I went through to see what other people had experienced. And I was like, oh, okay, enlightenment is an abstraction. We don't have the easy answer to what that is that we're moving towards. So as I do, I find functional definitions, things that are tangible, that people can reach in understanding. And enlightenment used to be kind of this abstract idea that of a spiritual awakening and this magical thing. And I don't see it that way anymore. I just look at the word enlightenment, enlighten, meaning that for me, it's the tangible effect of lightness in my world. And I recognize that I had become very light after that because the weight of everybody's, you should be like this, you should act like this, was gone. And and like the need for forgiveness, for me to give forgiveness to other people. I can do that in a heartbeat if I feel like I have um, made a mistake and I want to share that. I can do that. If people behave a certain way to me, I don't hold on to it as this happened to me, and then I got to go tell everybody about this, and I hope one day I'm going to get forgiveness for it. It's like that all just went away. So to me, enlightenment is the tangible effect of being lighter and not having to make value judgments or hold myself accountable to value judgments that I see. And the way that if I were coaching somebody along their path, like, what can you expect? And I would say, going by what happened, what I went through in my spiritual journey, there'll be a point where, like, I would call it the tipping point. And once you get past the tipping point, it's like enlightenment kind of lightning goes into auto mode. It's like I didn't end up just getting rid of all my judgment when I did that, because I was living 49 years on earth. I had made gazillions of value judgments about things, hated certain things, but it was in that big moment where I realized I don't have to hold on to any of that. I don't have to hate stuff in order to live in this reality. And so I would say tangibly, enlightenment is that point you get to, the tipping point, where enlightenment then just becomes an organic function in your life. Because like it doesn't take me any time to correct behavior that I find myself doing. And I'm finding these silly little things in my world that are still resident that I didn't even realize. And I'm having fun reconciling those things and going, oh, okay, that's a stupid point of view and it's a low point of view, but I can do it effortlessly. And to me, that's the thing, is enlightenment is a tipping point in your life, and it can happen in a moment, or you may not even recognize it, but then the next thing you know, it's just so easy to let things go, to move on to the next thing, and that's where you go. And you're welcome to have your interpretation of enlightenment, but that's mine, and I usually tend to, because I see life very tangible, and I find spirituality is also very tangible when you kind of step out of the metaphysics or what you believes and all of these things that can go down to what's the experience. And I can share with you, which I've done in this video, this is what my experience was, and this was tangible. And I don't like to share things that are woo-woo, that are out there, unless I truly can see how it's tangible in this reality. So please, if you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe. I'm always open for new topics to discuss. That's my creativity. That's what I love to do. And even the hard topics, I'm happy to hit those as well.